Welcome back to another edition of Rational Wrestling Talk. This is the Rational Wrestling Mark, and I'm going to be talking about the biggest omission from the SummerSlam card, from this year's SummerSlam card. Now, there's a lot of omissions from SummerSlam, notably Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus. You would think, a feud that has been going on since April, that would have had a proper, a proper end, right, at SummerSlam. You would think that feud will come to a close. Welcome back to another edition of Rational Wrestling Talk. This is the Rational Wrestling Mark. I'm going to be talking about the biggest omission from the SummerSlam card, from this year's SummerSlam card. Now, there's a lot of notably omissions from SummerSlam, like Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus. You would think that a feud that has been going on since April would have a proper close at SummerSlam. You would think that feud would have been set to end at one of the big four pay-per-views. But apparently they are extending their match to August 14th. And I believe they're going to be in Toronto, in Trish's home country. And then you have AJ Styles, perhaps your most greatest performers on your roster, one of the greatest wrestlers on your roster, is missing SummerSlam. You also have Dominic Mysterio potentially missing SummerSlam. Sami Zayn, who is one half of the Undisputed Tag Team Champion. Now, I get that Kevin Owens is injured, and that probably has a lot to do with that. I believe they were supposed to defend the Tag Team Championships against Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio at SummerSlam. So that's going to be another omission. Trying to think. What else is another omission? Austin Theory, he's missing SummerSlam, most likely. I'm not sure. He might be in the SummerSlam Battle Royal. But when I look at the Battle Royal, there's no stakes. There's no stipulation, right? There's no stipulation. So whoever wins the Battle Royal, what do they win? Do they win a title shot? Like, what do they earn? What's the purpose of having this Battle Royal at SummerSlam? We don't know. We don't know. I guess it's just to fill up time, just to give the wrestlers that were not given a spot on the card, give them some time, give them a spot on the card in terms of a Battle Royal, right? The ones that were not booked for an important match. But no Rey Mysterio, no Santos Escobar. But the biggest omission is your women's world champion, Rhea Ripley. Now, some people may not may not be enjoying Rhea Ripley's current title reign right now, which is by all means not her fault. We know how good Rhea Ripley is inside the ring, and we know that she's been a constant in the women's division, right? This woman can definitely go. And her character, in my opinion, has definitely improved in the past year. In my opinion, she's one of the most entertaining aspects of the women's division. Right? Her character has drastically improved ever since, turning heel. I mean, this is the same woman that beat Charlotte at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match. I mean, beating Charlotte at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match, that's a big deal now. So for her to be left off SummerSlam this year, that's a disservice. How do you keep off your women's world champion off of SummerSlam? Out of all the omissions, this is the biggest omission. They were supposed to do, I believe, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. But now, judging by what happened on Raw, and with Raquel Rodriguez suffering a knee injury, it could be most likely storyline injury. They probably want to hold off the match until Payback next month. But it's still no excuse to leave off Rhea Ripley. They still could have done the match. They still could have done the match. Take off the stupid SummerSlam Battle Royal and just do this match instead. Because, okay, Asuka, Charlotte, Bianca Belair, they have a big match for SummerSlam. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler have a big match for SummerSlam. I can kind of understand leaving Becky and Trish off of SummerSlam. I can accept that. But to leave your women's world champion off of SummerSlam, that's unacceptable. Like I said, this is the same woman that beat Charlotte Flair. This woman has been getting a lot of TV time. She's been booked very well, very dominantly the past year. I don't think she's taken a loss. I don't think Rhea Ripley has lost a single match since I can't remember. This woman has not lost a match in a long time. And she's one of the more, in my opinion, one of the more entertaining aspects of the division, of the women's division. I mean, she's the glue that's keeping the women's division together. Especially with the Raw women's division. If you just took Rhea Ripley out of the Raw women's division, that division is going to look a lot weaker. Now you just have Becky. You have Becky Lynch, of course. Trish Stratus is not going to stick around much longer. After her feud with Becky, she's gone. She's out of here. And she's your biggest heel in the women's division from Raw, SmackDown, NXT. She recently just had a banger of a match with, what's that girl's name? Lara Valkyrie on NXT. A great match. And so to keep Rhea Ripley off of SummerSlam, I think it's a disservice. You know, you can kind of accept leaving your mid-card title, the United States Championship, off the card, right? Austin Theory. But not your women's world champion. You see, you have your WWE Women's Champion, Asuka. You know, she's basically the third wheel in the Charlotte and Bianca thing. You know, like the focus is with Bianca and Charlotte, even though it's a triple threat title match. Asuka feels like a third wheel. She does not feel equally as important as Charlotte and Bianca. I don't know if they're doing that by design, but what I'm seeing is they don't really value Asuka as much as they value Bianca and Charlotte. And she feels like an afterthought as your women's champion. But she has a match at SummerSlam. But you can argue it's because of the fact that Charlotte and Bianca is in the match. But Rhea Ripley, compared to Asuka, her booking has been twice as better than Asuka's booking. And she doesn't have a match at SummerSlam. That's a shame. You know, that's your women's world champion on the same level as, the SmackDown Women's Championship. You know, I don't understand how you just keep her off of SummerSlam. They still could have done the match. They still could have had the match end early due to Raquel Rodriguez's storyline knee injury, right? Just had her, beat down, tear down the knee, target the knee the entire match, and the referee could probably stop the match because she can't continue with her injured knee, right? They still could have booked this in a way to where you have your women's world champion on the show, on the card in a match, right? You could have ended the match, referee stoppage, right? Oh, she can't continue the match because of her injured knee. But you don't just leave your women's world champion completely off the card. You could have sacrificed the Battle Royal and, leave Austin Theory off the SummerSlam card. I'm actually okay with Austin Theory having his U.S. title match on SmackDown and not SummerSlam. I'm okay with that because, just to be completely honest, Austin Theory has lost a lot of steam since WrestleMania. But Rhea Ripley, you're seeing how good she really is in her role right now. But the problem is there's a lack of challengers for Rhea Ripley. It's not her title reign just sucks. It's because they're not utilizing the other women on the roster that can be a threat to her title reign. And once again, Rhea Ripley, it's not her fault that, her title reign is just underwhelming. That's not her fault. She's doing the best that she can do. She's only doing the best of what she can work with. Like I said, she's doing great in her role. But as far as being the women's world champion, she just doesn't have credible challengers outside of Becky Lynch. They could have done a better job building up Raquel Rodriguez, but instead, she's been stuck in the tag team ranks ever since she debuted on the main roster. And then Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, Ronda Rousey most likely is going to leave after SummerSlam. But you gotta rebuild Shayna Baszler because she's been stuck in the tag team for a while too. So the only real credible challenger is Becky Lynch. But she's tied up with Trish Stratus once again. So, and the rest of the Raw women's division is not even on TV. They're not even on TV. So, has nothing to do with Rhea Ripley. It's just their inability to book credible challengers for Rhea Ripley. Right? To book proper contenders for that belt. So, yeah, this is definitely a disappointment for sure. But it is what it is. Rhea Ripley's off of SummerSlam. I mean, she will make an appearance most likely. She'll make an appearance, but she won't be in a match. So that being said, give me your thoughts and opinions down below. Like the video for the algorithm. And this is another edition of the Rational Wrestling Talk. And this is the Rational Wrestling Mark. Thank you all for watching, and I'm out. Peace.